He dreamed of a free Africa, he dared to make it real, and he lit the torch of African independence. Kwame Nkrumah was born on September 21, 1909 in a small town called Nkrumah in the Gold Coast, what we now know as Ghana. His parents were not wealthy, but the boy had a sharp mind and a restless spirit. He went to school under Catholic missionaries, and there he found his first love, learning. His teachers saw his brilliance and pushed him further. But Nkrumah's destiny was not to remain in Nkrumah. In the 1930s, he set sail across the Atlantic to study in America. He arrived in Harlem, New York, then moved to Pennsylvania, where he studied at Lincoln University, and later at the University of Pennsylvania. America opened his eyes. He read about Marx and Lenin, studied philosophy, but above all, he studied freedom. He met black intellectuals, activists, and Pan-African leaders who taught him that Africa's chains could be broken. From America, he went to London, where he met George Padmore, a fiery Pan-Africanist. Together, they organized the 5th Pan-African Congress in Manchester in the year 1945. That Congress brought together African leaders who dreamed of independence, men like Jomo Kenyatta of Kenya and Hastings Banda of Malawi. They declared that colonialism must die and freedom must come to Africa. When Nkrumah returned to the Gold Coast in 1947, he came like a storm. He joined the United Gold Coast Convention, but soon broke away, forming his own movement, the Convention People's Party, CPP. His slogan was simple, powerful and unforgettable: self-government now. The British rulers were shaken. Nkrumah mobilized the masses, farmers, workers, women, the youth. He spoke with fire and the people loved him. Crowds chanted his name in the streets. The colonial authorities arrested him, but prison only made him stronger. The people marched, protested, and demanded his release. By 1951, Nkrumah was swept into power. And then the dream became true. On the night of March 6, 1957, Nkrumah stood before a sea of people in Accra and declared, "At long last, the battle has ended. Ghana, our beloved country, is free forever." The Gold Coast had become Ghana, the first sub-Saharan African nation to win independence. But Nkrumah's dream was bigger than Ghana. He believed Ghana's freedom was meaningless unless all of Africa was free. He shouted across the continent, "The independence of Ghana is meaningless unless it is linked up with the total liberation of Africa." He poured his energy into the idea of Pan-Africanism. He helped form the Organization of African Unity, OAU, in 1963, hoping to build a United States of Africa. At home, he built schools, factories, roads, and the mighty Akosombo Dam to bring electricity. He wore his trademark kente clothes, mixing tradition with modern leadership. To his people, he was Osagyefo, the Redeemer. But power is a dangerous companion. Over time, Nkrumah's rule became more authoritarian. Critics were silenced, opposition banned. His dream of rapid modernization strained Ghana's economy. While he traveled abroad promoting African unity, discontent brewed at home. Then in 1966, as Nkrumah traveled to Asia seeking peace in Vietnam, the army struck. A coup toppled his government. He never returned to power. He lived the rest of his life in exile, moving between Guinea and other African states, still preaching Pan-African unity. Kwame Nkrumah died in 1972, far from Ghana, the Ghana he had freed. But his legacy did not die with him. Across Africa, independence movements rose, inspired by his vision. And so Kwame Nkrumah's story is the story of Africa's awakening. A boy from a small village who became a giant of liberation. A man whose voice still whispers across the continent. Forward ever, backward never. With that, we've come to the end. I'd like to know your thoughts in the comment section. For more stories like this, please like, share, follow, and subscribe.